Gideon, remember he changed his name. The Lord changed his name from Gideon to Jerubbaal. That is Gideon. And all the people who were with him rose early and encamped besides the spring of Harod. And the camp of Midian was north of them by the hill of Moreh in the valley. The Lord said to Gideon, the people who are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel boast about themselves against me, saying, my own hand has delivered me. So now proclaim in the ears of the men, saying, whoever is fearful and trembling, let them turn back and depart from Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the men returned, but 10,000 remained. So he's like, hey, there's too many people on your team. Get rid of some. Tell them if they're scared, go home. 22,000 went home. 4. And the Lord said to Gideon, the men are still too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will test them with you there. And he whom I say to you, this man shall go with you, shall go with you. And he whom I say to you, this man shall not go with you, shall not go with you. So he brought the men down to the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, everyone who laps up the water with his tongue as a dog laps it, you shall set by himself. Likewise, everyone who bows down on his knees to drink. And the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, was 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And the Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men who lapped, I will deliver you and give the Midianites into your hand. Let all the others return. Let them return, every man to his home. So the people took provisions and their trumpets in their hands, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man to his home, and returned those 300 men. And the host of Midian was below him in the valley. That same night the Lord said to Gideon, arise, go down against their camp, for I have given it into your hand. But if you fear to go down, go with Purah your servant down to the camp, and you shall hear what they say, and afterward your hands shall be strengthened to go down against the camp. Then he went down with Purah his servant to the outposts of the camp of the armed men. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the sons of the east lay along the valley like locusts for multitude, and their camels were without number, as the sand of the seashore for multitude. Then Gideon arrived. Behold, a man was telling a dream to his comrade, and he said, behold, I dreamt a dream, and behold, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the camp of Midian, and came to the tent and struck it so that it fell, and turned it upside down so that the tent lay flat. And his comrade replied, this is nothing else but the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, a man of Israel. Into his hand God has given Midian and all the hosts. When Gideon heard the telling of the dream and its interpretation, he worshipped and returned to the camp of Israel and said, arise, for the Lord has given into your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put into the hands of all the men trumpets and empty pitchers with torches inside the pitchers. And he said to them, look at me, then do likewise. When I come to the edge of their camp, do as I do. When I blow the trumpet, I will I and all who are with me. Then you blow the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and shout for the Lord and for Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men who were with him came to the outskirts of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, when the guards had just been changed, and they blew their trumpet and smashed their pitchers and were in their hands. They smashed the pitchers that were in their hands. 20. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and shattered the pitchers, holding the torches in their left hands, and in their right hands the trumpets to blow, leaving no chance to use swords. As they cried the sword for the Lord and Gideon, they stood every man in its place around about the camp, and all the Midianites' armies ran. They cried out and fled. 22. When Gideon's men blew the 300 trumpets, the Lord set every Midianite sword against his comrade against all the army, and the army fled as far as Beth Shettah towards Zererah, as far as the border of Abel Meholah by Tabbath. And the men of Israel were called together out of Naphtali and Asher and all Manasseh, and they pursued Midian. 24. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all the hill country of Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites and take all the intervening fords as far as Beth Barah, and also the Jordan. So all the men of Ephraim were gathered together and took all the fords as far as Beth Barah, and also the Jordan. And the men of Ephraim took the 2 princes of Midian, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb at the rock of Oreb, and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and they brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon beyond the Jordan. This concludes chapter 7. However, there is a life point that I would love to read to you guys. It's fairly short. It is called Life Point. Notice that each man in Gideon's tiny army held a torch in one hand and a trumpet in the other, leaving no chance to use swords. Remember, that was Judges 7:20. That was verse 20. When God sent them to battle against a vastly superior host of Midianites, he intentionally put these items in their hands so they could not draw their sword to fight on their own. Think about it. God sent out 300 fearless men who were focused on what they were called to do, and he made sure they had something in each hand so they could not possibly fight their own battle. They had to depend on him to fight it for them. All they had to do was break a pitcher, hold up a torch, and cry, "The sword for the Lord and Gideon." That was Judges 7, verse 20. We can learn from them to put all of our confidence and trust in God instead of in our ability to help ourselves. What God has asked you to do may be impossible for you, but it is not impossible for him. Trust God today. This concludes chapter 7. Stay tuned for chapter 8.